Hey, everybody. I am your host, Felipe Milicio. You are listening to the Total Basis Podcast. With me, as always, is Sean Flannery. Sean, how you doing this evening?
Oh, I am awesome. Didn't we just do a show? We're back again, and I'm super excited for it. This is awesome. We haven't done a weekday show in what feels like forever, probably
Yeah.
since this time last year. But
Yeah.
this is going to be
Pre-baby.
fun. More draft recaps. Drafts are starting to come down, so it's all good.
Yeah, and I tagged all my friends. This is our
You have
second
friends?
annual. Well, they're.
I thought it was just me.
Well, I've known. I've known these guys for about 20 odd years or so. I guess if we're not friends by now, then what the hell are we?
My
But
apologies to everyone out here who's known Felipe for 20 years.
I mean, they knew me when I was a teenager. I think I told this story where I kind of lied to the commissioner or so, and I told him that I was 18 years old, or I was at least well over 18. I was like just underneath 17, but I respected the guy, and hey, Mr. Internet guy, can we start a fantasy league together, a keeper league? I don't know what the hell a keeper league is. I just know about them. I don't know how they work or whatever. But internet back then was kind of wild west. There was no Facebook, but he took me under his wing and he said, "Come on, kid, let's go." And he
Don't
left.
do
But
that nowadays, kids. Don't do that nowadays.
yeah, can you imagine? I mean, this is the
Felipe,
equivalent
did you tell somebody you were over 18 on the internet? That's frowned upon these days.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that would be called catfishing, right? But this is the equivalent of like how Generation X people and the boomers will tell you, yeah, I used to hitchhike here from Chicago to California, and you could trust everybody back then. There was no serial killers except for that one
That one
serial
Bundy guy and that one
killer. He used to
Golden
kill
State
everybody on the
guy,
highway.
who cares about them?
Yeah, there's Canadian, British Columbia guy too, and I forgot his name already. But yeah, that guy was a real jackass
Well, at
for
least he was probably
obvious reasons.
courteous before he
But
killed you.
yeah. That's unfortunately that's anyway. This is
Did
getting
he say
dark.
sorry right
So,
before he axe murdered you?
man, apparently he had no acts of contrition on his soul. So anyway, this is a league that I've been a part of since, like I said, I was a teenager. It's been going on for 20 years. We recapped it. I didn't know if we were going to do it this year or not because we were running out of time, and Sean was nice enough to hop on tonight and discuss it, as we had a lot of fun doing it last year. And he doesn't have to be on this thing. It's not even his league, but he's more than nice enough to kind of break it down for us, as a lot
You
of
know
people.
why I like to do it, Felipe?
No, why?
Because whenever I analyze drafts that I'm not in or I don't really know the people in it, I think all the people I know in this particular league are you, Bushnell, and Steve.
Steve
So
Carey,
I
yeah.
don't really know any of you guys, so I don't feel as bad criticizing you. So now I can go full Jeff Ross and just roast everybody. That's the goal here.
So how do you explain yesterday's show when you were roasting everybody on the Baseball Life draft there? Most of those guys are your friends.
I wasn't trying to. I felt like I roasted you more than anybody.
Hey, I'm your friend. We just established that. Come on, man. Anyway, all right. But yeah, we had a lot of requests from my league. Hey, are you going to do that again this year? So like, I guess I'm going to have to now. So here we are. Hope everybody enjoys it. So let's get going, man. We have a lot to cover. It's not it's not as big as our Baseball Life League, Sean. It's only 17 rounds. Although I went ahead and put the virtual round 6, as you can see there. First of all, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah, so instead of round 1, it's round 6, right? Because five players were kept from last year, 2 minor league slots if you choose to protect minor league players. This is the same rules that we pretty much have for the entirety of the 20 years that we've been in this league. So first and foremost, Castroville Crushers. That is our lovely commissioner, our leader there. He goes with Marcelo Zuna. I forgot who his keepers were, so there's no. I guess I can pull it up really quick. But
the commissioner came in last.
Yeah, man, he didn't do a good job of manipulating the rules to his
advantage. I was just about to say you got to change the rules if you're coming in last.
Yeah, you got. That's what I do in our leagues, right? At least I've been. I have a feeling they're thinking about that over there. Like Felipe just changes the rules to his advantage. Like,
hey, no. I'm the one here. I'm the labor leader for the league.
Yeah, that's why I had 3 commissioners, right? That way I can't be accused of anything wrong, of any wrongdoing. So, but yeah, he goes Marcelo Zuna, a solid pick right there. I don't know. And then another team from Texas, Steven, who I don't think he's in this group, but he goes with Aaron Judge. I don't know, Sean, Marcelo Zuna or Aaron Judge in that position.
This is I'm assuming I see the projected points. This is head-to-head points, if I remember correctly from last year.
It's a keeper league, 5 players, head-to-head points. You are correct, sir.
Yeah, in the points league, I probably lean Ozuna. Judge has the strikeouts that kind of bring him down. The walks balance it out. I do wonder about Kyle Tucker. I think Kyle Tucker, even though he might be more of a roto play for his steals, I think he could be, like I said, the next elite hitter in baseball. I probably, in those 3 guys, I could have gone any one of them in any order in the top 3 or 4 picks.
Oh, really? Okay, so they're interchangeable as far as you're concerned.
Yeah, and Marcell Ozuna, it gets a lot of love, and I do think he is a very good hitter. I just think a lot of people are expecting the 330 batting average that he had last year, and I think it's closer to 270, and if it's closer to 270, then it makes it a whole lot reasonable to pick Aaron Judge or Kyle Tucker over Ozuna.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, yeah, I see that Kyle Tucker. I'm surprised that none of the Astros fans, we have a lot of Astros fan in this league. None of them kept Kyle Tucker. I don't know who had him last year. I can't remember, but there he is, left field eligible. So I guess I would go with Ozuna over Tucker in this format. But that's a really good pick by Stephen Carey, who was with us last year.
Hey, what's up, Stephen? Yeah. I love the pick.
And then Josh Hader. This is a new guy from last year. I think his name is Jeff. Don't know.
Josh Hader's not a new guy from last year,
but maybe next year is. I feel like this is going to be a Abbott and Costello thing. Maybe next year is. I don't know. Balls out over from California, Kevon Biggio. I know you like that pick. And there's me, Black Hole Army, Zach Gallen.
But did you hear about the news with Zach Gallen?
Yeah, right forearm injury. That's pitchers, man. I tell you.
Granted, it didn't come while pitching; it came from hitting, which should be even more infuriating. But maybe if it's a forearm injury from swinging, it's not the same forearm soreness that pitchers feel when commonly associated with Tommy John surgery. So maybe our fingers are crossed for you.
Yeah, and then if I know Leon's making fun of me because of on the other draft I picked Kevin Gaussman, and he's like, I'm taking notes for your meltdown. If I'm gonna meltdown, this is it right here, Zach Gallen. I went the complete opposite in this draft because it's a points league, so pitching points matter a little bit more than in our other league, because our other league is category based, and I think I can take advantage of some of the counting stats and the rate stats here. But this is all an accumulation of things, right? And I figure, well, Zach Gallen should be getting more accumulation of points. He can't accumulate points if he's hurt, though. So
yeah.
We'll see.
I will say this: we kind of skipped over, I feel like, Patrick Corbin going third, and I'm glad you told me this before. Yeah. TMT Dynamite, our good friend Matt Bushnell, I saw that pick and I cringed, and I was like, what in the world? Who would pick Patrick Corbin there over all the other people? Felipe did tell me that you were on auto, you weren't able to make the draft.
Yes,
which sucks. So I'll try and be nicer to your team. I did not like a lot of the picks due to your queue or whatever, but I'll take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. He hasn't talked about this draft at all to me. He hasn't brought it up. He hasn't said anything to me. So I don't know what the deal is or why he couldn't show up. But it is what it is. All of his picks, as far as I'm concerned, they're automatic. I don't know if he fixed his queue beforehand. So we're gonna have to talk to him. Maybe hey, when he does this podcast tomorrow over at Football Life, maybe we can ask him then.
Maybe we can hijack the podcast. Come storming on air. What happened to your draft?
Why is your team so crappy? All right. So as you can see, our guy Castroville, Robert, the commissioner, has 2 picks in the first round. I don't know what he did to get them. I'm sure he'll explain it in the comments section.
Hey, he's the commish. He makes up as he goes.
Makes it up as he goes. But I mean, you'll see a couple of people with multiple first round picks. So let's see if they take advantage of it. I know we talked about that last year and we weren't that impressed with those picks, but we'll see what happens this year. Ryan Presley, I like him. You like him.
I do like Ryan Presley, but looking at some of the other relievers that go in the next few rounds, I'm not sure I like him there.
If you're an Astros fan like he is, I'm pretty sure.
That explains it. There we go.
Charlie Black, another one. So this is another guy who has multiple first round picks. He goes with Josh Hader, maybe Jeff does, and Charlie Blackmon. How do you like that pairing?
Charlie Blackmon's still going to be a points league god. The fact that he doesn't run much anymore doesn't hurt him as much in points.
Yeah.
I feel like Kyle Tucker could be like, that's a good comp for Kyle Tucker, is what prime Charlie Blackmon was. No, except Kyle Tucker isn't going to need to be helped by Coors Field like Blackmon probably has been over his career. But yeah, Charlie Blackmon has the skill sets to really age well, especially in a points league where you're not relying on the steals as much. As safe for a 300 average as probably anybody in baseball.
Mhm.
Probably loses a little bit of points and runs and RBIs now that there's no Arenado, but he's still a good pick here.
All right. And then our guy, Beer Belly Mashers, who is Kansas City Tim, probably the most dangerous guy in this league. Blake Snell goes to him. I
What
don't
makes him the
know.
most dangerous man in this league?
You have to play against him too. I mean, and that's any fantasy sport, basketball, football. I hate playing him because, anyway, I don't want to talk about. If he's not here to defend himself, I don't want to deal with him if he's not here. But I don't know. As you see, he went with Blake Snell. I went with Zach Gallen. Did I, aside from the injury, Sean? I guess I should ask you: did I do a good thing here by going Gallen over Snell, or did I do it wrong here?
I think it was in a vacuum a good pick.
Yeah.
Blake Snell or Lance Lynn, any of those guys that went after, I don't think you could have gone wrong. Uh, he's just the riskier of the options that were available.
Ooh, Blake Snell or Zach Gallen?
Oh, Zach
Riskier.
Gallen.
You think Zach Gallen's riskier? Okay.
I think he's riskier than Snell. I think he's a little bit riskier than Lynn. I think Lynn might have a step down, but in a points league, all of those innings really add up quickly. And I think Lance Lynn's a good as bet of any to lead the league in innings, which means he's automatically probably set for 500 points minimum.
Yeah, well, there it is. 500 points minimum for Lance Lynn, at least, right? So, I mean, Zach Gallen's supposed to get 2 more points than Snell, so we'll see if that happens. Snell, like you mentioned on Sunday, has a propensity to get hurt. So,
yes,
with balls out, second pick, he went with Kevin Biggio, who's a high contact rate guy, and then the second pick in that first round, he goes with Giancarlo Stanton, who is a power hitting god if he's ever healthy. DH only eligible there. So, I mean, what do you think about that, Giancarlo Stanton, number 11?
I like the Biggio and Stanton pairing. Biggio probably plays a whole lot better in points due to the fact that he does walk. He's kind of like Brandon Nimmo, the fact that he's so passive and has such a great eye at the plate. He's not going to chase. And those walks really do play up in a points league. And unlike Nimmo, who early in his career has had, slightly above average strikeout rates, I think Biggio's actually a better bet to have closer to league average or below league average strikeout rates. The steals aren't as important. I think he could end up at the top of that lineup. He's not there yet. It looks like he's going to be a bottom third guy, but I do love this pick, and I love Stanton as long as Stanton's healthy, which is always the toss-up.
Yeah. Talked about Lance Lynn. We already know what he's made out of, so we can go ahead to the second round, which is really the virtual 7th round. And, I don't like that at all. So let's, I'm going to have to unfreeze my thing here. So let's go ahead and unfreeze that, and now we can move on to the virtual 7th round, Sean. Texas Power Drinkers goes back-to-back with Lance Lynn and Kenta Maeda, back-to-back pitchers. Remember, Texas, Shane's on the chat below in the comment section. He's the champion, and I think this is his maybe 3rd championship. He'll tell you.
Congratulations, Shane.
Everybody's
also great back-to-back starting pitcher picks. I picked up both of them in the TGFBI as my 2. Actually, I didn't get Lynn, I don't believe. I had Maeda, or maybe I did. I think I did get both. Don't listen to me. I got both. Right, I like both.
And to make matters worse, the champion also has Randy Arozarena in this round. So he got both Kenta Maeda, Randy Arozarena, Lance Lynn in the back end of the first round. So far, he's looking good, isn't he?
Yeah, especially for coming off a championship season.
So, let's see here. Luke Voigt. I know we talked about it previously that Luke Voigt is a great source of power. He goes to Team Balls Out, who's off to a decent start. He's the guy who did the Calvin Biggio and Giancarlo Stanton.
Oh, okay. So really doubling down on power here early.
Yeah. Kansas City Tim with Reese Hoskins, Jeff with Gleyber Torres, Robert, I should say, Robert going with Starlin Marte, and then your boy here, Yordan Alvarez. So,
hey.
I kind of got lucky there that he fell to me among all these Astros fans. I don't know if they know something that I don't know. Maybe the leg injury is a lot worse than people anticipate, or maybe that he's DH only. What do you think about Yordan Alvarez being selected as a 2nd designated hitter? As you saw that Giancarlo Stanton went in the first round. What do you think about that?
I think he has the ability to be the first one, but he faces the same question marks of Giancarlo Stanton, which is health, because he's only 23, 24 years old. He's already had surgery on both knees. Knees aren't something that generally get better. It's crazy to think that from the age 23 on, he's already just going to be DH only. They have said they do want to get him into left field. I doubt he sees much of left field. But we're talking about a guy who, in his career so far at the major leagues, looks a whole lot like prime Miguel Cabrera. And
Mm.
if you're getting like prime Miguel Cabrera numbers from Yordan Alvarez, like he's the easiest pick in the world. So I love this pick. I love it so much.
Yeah, so like I said, got lucky. But again, I'm kind of worried that all these Astros fans kind of bypass them. But you saw some of these Astros fans are, I mean, like Shane's going back to back to back pitchers. So, or I'm sorry, back to back pitchers, and then Rosarena right here. Well, that was because I already picked Alvarez. But anyway, Mike over there with 2 second-round picks, going with Luke Voigt and Ian Anderson. Bam.
Anderson has looked great in spring training.
Oh yeah.
Of all of the guys that Atlanta had coming up through the system, Anderson, Kyle Wright, Bryce Wilson, even Max Fried, I think Ian Anderson could be the best out of all of them. That's a great pick right there. And then here goes 3 pitchers I love. And it was the only pick I liked from Bushnell's queue so far, which was Kyle Hendricks.
I think that's a bad pick. You know how I feel about Hendricks. Zach Plesac and Zach Wheeler. I guess I'll do Wheeler, Plesac, and Hendricks a distant third in that bunch. Like I said,
I think, like I said, in a points league, the strikeouts are auxiliary to innings pitched, which I usually don't agree with, except in a short season. I am. I just think Kyle Hendricks. I'd probably pick Zach Wheeler over him, but I would definitely pick Kyle Hendricks over Zach Plesac by far. Well, so I actually like that pick for Matt.
We'll see what happens. But again, it wasn't even his pick, so whatever. Robert comes back with in the second round with Max Muncy. So he now has Starlin Marte and Max Muncy in the second round. What do you think about that pairing right there?
It's a good one. Starling Marte in a points league doesn't really. I don't like Starling Marte really in fantasy to begin with. I know he's so valuable because of the steals and solid batting average, but in a points league, I worry about exactly how good he can be in a points league. But I love the Muncy pick, so you're not going to get too many squabbles from me.
All right. Well, let's move on to the third round, the virtual 8th round. So Robert comes back with Max Muncy and Carlos Correa. So it's a hell of a pairing there. Would you say so, right?
Yeah, I'm really digging the Correa bounce back. As we all saw what he did in the postseason. That's a solid pairing right there. I would love to see, and maybe at the end of this, if we have enough time, we can look at their total teams. But I'm really liking what Castroville's doing so far.
All right. Houston Steelers getting Zach Greinke, the Houston pitcher. So that's no hesitation, only 18 seconds. Bushnell comes back with the auto pick with Alex Colomé.
This one hurt me.
Matt Bushnell is such a homer, White Sox homer, that he went out and got Alex Colomé just because he missed him so much. So.
And then once again, like the same thing with how we saw Ryan Presley go earlier. It's hard for me to justify that when you see some of the relief pitchers that go after him, especially the 3 that go in this round right here, which Alex Colomé started a run, which is a weird sentence to say.
What do you think about Carey? He must be listening to this show because he went ahead and got Salvador Perez. That's the first catcher right there, Sean. What do you think about that, huh?
Salvador Perez in the points league makes me go even more than Salvador's in a categories league.
Well, you can see that he had to really think about it. It took him about 90 seconds to make up his mind. Then he just kind of settled on him.
What was the timer allowed for this draft?
I forgot. I think it was 90 seconds.
I saw 129 and 133. So I don't know.
Well, you know me, man. I was doing the slow draft. When I get to turn around and do this fast draft, it's like, it's like warp speed. It goes by really fast.
My brain won't move this fast.
Max Fried, and then your guy JT Realmuto. I guess Salvador Perez starts a run on catchers, maybe.
A little bit. Yeah, Salvador Perez over JT Realmuto is interesting though. It's close.
Maybe Steven can explain himself in the chat below there. Your guy goes with Edwin Diaz, your co-host here, Edwin Diaz.
I'm loving the team so far, Felipe. I'm loving the team as long as Kevin Gossman doesn't show up.
We'll get to that in a little bit. Edwin Diaz, best player available to me at that point. Might as well snatch him up, especially with all the closers going by so fast, I guess, right? Okay, so who's this? Robert again. Yeah, he did mention he has 8 picks in the first 4 rounds, so that's part of the reason why maybe he finished in last place. I don't know. Well, let's take a look at this team. So that's 3 picks in the last couple of selections there. And he has both Christian Javier, Carlos Correa, so a couple of Astros player going to the Astros fan, Max Muncy. What do you think about that trio there, Sean?
I'm looking at some of the starting pitchers, and it's making me feel like that a lot of starting pitchers were kept. Well, it was 5 per team total. So, right? 5 per team?
5 per team. And here's the list. Let me see if I can blow it up a little bit. Oh, you're looking at the pitchers. Okay, so this is gonna be ugly. So here's my rankings. This is who I had. Are these all minor leaguers on the right side? Yes, they are. And no Orioles were kept. No Orioles pitchers were kept. No Tigers pitchers were kept. So anything on purple and blue, that blue is me.
They were
right?
kept.
And anything in purple is everybody keeping those guys. So let's count them out. Let Excel do its magic here. So I have about 15, 18.
And then those were the minor leaguers over to the far right. And Urquidy,
yeah.
wow.
Yeah, Urquidy.
That's an interesting keeper pick.
Yep. So about 20 pitchers, starting pitchers were kept. And that's not including the relief pitchers who, nobody kept relief pitchers. So there you go. So that's the list right there.
I just feel like, especially Javier and Paddock, to go. I'm trying to find some ones. I don't want to go too far ahead of us, but like Corbin Burns goes 2 rounds later. Like Corbin Burns, Sixto Sanchez, and Sonny Gray all go 2 rounds later than these guys. Like what? I think those guys are Burns, Sanchez, and Gray are infinitely better than Javier and Paddock. Even though I do like Javier and Paddock, I can't pick those guys over the ones that are still on the board at this point.
So this spreadsheet here, right? This is the remember I told you earlier in this podcast season that I was using ATC projections just to make my life easier this year. Just settle upon it because they use holds. So, we're in a holds league, but I doubled up and used this one. I was able to calculate some total points here based on those projections. It's not the total, it's not a complete picture, but it's a little bit of a picture. And these are all the pitchers that were available right here, Sean. These are all the guys who were available.
It's hard for me to justify seeing Goldschmidt. I literally just pulled his name up. Javier and Paddock go with some of the people that are still on the board at that point in the draft. I'm not saying they're bad picks. It's just I wouldn't have picked them there.
Yeah, and Javier was my 80th ranked starting pitcher. And Paddock was like in the top 30, but yeah, that's that he's always a question mark. But hey, it's a keeper league. Let's go with that. They're both in their early 20s, so maybe that's part of the method to the man. I know I picked Gallen because he was young at 25, and look which is the complete opposite I told you I was going to do. I was not going to go after young pitchers in any drafts, and I pulled the trigger on Gallen. So what do I know? I don't follow my own advice. So there's Chris Paddock, like you mentioned, Mike Moustakas going to Kansas City. Tim, I remember he's a Royals fan, so former Royal going back to Tim there. James Karanchik, I know you love that guy. And another closer, Raisel Iglesias, going to the champion. All of a sudden, he doesn't look very champion-like, does he, Sean?
Like I said, all 3 closers that went at the last half of that round were better than the closer that went at the beginning of the round. I understand that was probably from an auto pick, but still.
Well, Shane goes back-to-back closers here. So you saw him go back-to-back starting pitchers. He's going back-to-back closers in this second round of picks here for himself. Iglesias and Trevor Rosenthal, who I'm a big fan of. But are you a big fan of this combination, Sean?
I am. I do think there is some risk associated with Trevor Rosenthal. Obviously, he just had a hell of a year in 2020, and he had a pretty good track record pre-Tommy John. That first year back from Tommy John, though, was like one of the worst you could ever see. It's like he had no clue where the ball was going, which is something that he dealt with at times in St. Louis. So it's really hard for me to say, oh, it was just Tommy John recovery. He's past it now because every other year in St. Louis, he had like a walks per 9 over 4. So he's had command issues before. Is this a year that he has command issues, or has he finally nipped it in the bud and he's okay? Either way, 2 good bona fide closers for saves. I like this move.
Yeah, saves are worth 10 points in this league.
Yeah, so that's huge. Then you got to get them.
Yeah, well, I was trying to avoid Iglesias. I was actually going for Rosenthal. I do believe in Rosenthal. He's big. He's going to pitch in that big-ass ballpark. So, but, oh, well, I lost out. So, but, hey, I got Edwin Diaz anyway. So,
I'm down with Edwin Diaz saves, too.
And then I got to say it, Brandon Lau going to Primo's team over there in South Philly. Julio Urias in a points league, Sean. What do you think about that?
Like I boldly somewhat predicted on the show yesterday, I think there's a chance Julio Urias throws more innings than Walker Buehler. I think he is past being misused by the Dodgers. You know, that whole bullpen rotation. I think he's moved past those guys. I think the guys that are going to have to deal with it now are Dustin May, Tony Gonsolin, maybe Josiah Gray as a prospect. So I think Urias has supplanted himself into the rotation, and he's not going anywhere. I really like the pick.
All right, so I made a mistake here. I said three closers were kept. Aroldis Chapman, Liam Hendricks, and Kenley Jansen. So I did not have the spreadsheet the way I wanted it there. So thanks to Primo who corrected me on that one. Greatly appreciate it. So you can see it as a team sport here. And then Wilson Contreras going to Jeff's team, which that's still a better pick than. I'm sorry. No, that's a pretty good pick. I mean, especially if the catchers are already going right now off the board.
Yeah.
Might as well go for it.
Yeah, with the catchers that have already gone, these make sense.
So Jordan Hicks going to Robert's team in a points league. What do you think, Sean?
I'm not sure how St. Louis is going to do that back into the bullpen yet. If Jordan Hicks is the guy, then great pick. But you could see guys like Giovanni Gallegos, Alex Reyes. I just see a lot of threats. It could be a closer by committee. Carlos Martinez could go back to the bullpen. We don't know. So it's a risky pick, but a bold one.
So Robert is saying it was way too early to pick catchers. I guess he's referring to the Salvador Perez, and like we mentioned, Salvador Perez going kind of made a run on catchers. So we talked about it all the time. Catchers is a little bit stronger this year than last year, but it's still a thin position. So if you're worried about catchers and not getting a good one, or trying to get a good one early on, this is the way to do it. So I went with Ketel Marte because
love.
At least you love him. I kind of don't, but I got him because I thought he was center field eligible. But that's a typo on my part, so I can't read my own writing.
And you got the best part about Ketel Marte. I think he's even better in a points league. He controls the strike zone well. Lots of extra bases. Doesn't strike out a whole lot. I think he's going far too late in all drafts. I mean, this was a guy who was like a top 3, top 4 round pick, and now he's going like 7, 8, 9, 10. I think he could still return the value of his 2019 season, even if the power comes down to like 20 or 25 home runs instead of 30 plus.
Well, that's what I'm hoping, but I have a bad feeling it's going to be more like 15, and maybe I'll get 10 stolen bases, which, but he was as far as I was concerned, he was the best second baseman available at that time. But really, the reason I wanted him because I thought he qualified at center field. But I mean, he will eventually. So maybe all is not lost with him eventually. Mike going from California, going with Lourdes Gurriel. I felt like Lourdes Gurriel went very late in our baseball life draft.
He went super late, and if we finish up our part 2 tomorrow, him and another Blue Jays outfielder also went very late.
Well, what's the hate on Lourdes Gurriel? I mean, I know why I hate him, but
he's better than Gleyber Torres.
Oh God! All right,
and he might be middle infield eligible at second base. Like, oh my God, sign me up! I think he is infield eligible. I'm not. I would need to double check that.
Maybe on Yahoo, not in this league. No.
Right here, let me look it up.
All right,
keep going though.
Yeah, Jeff goes back with Paul Goldschmidt. Mac Attack. Steven goes with Tim Anderson. So that's a little bit of a homer pick, but it's still a good pick. I like Tim Anderson. I had him last year. Oh boy, Matthew.
Yeah, he's. I saw where Bushnell has joined us, and I'll preface this again. Bushnell, I understand you missed the draft. I'm going to try and take it easy on you, but Alex Colomé and then Roberto Ozuna, who let me remind everyone does not have a team. Yikes.
Okay, well, he'll explain himself either on his podcast tomorrow, or he'll explain himself right now if he's in the comments section. We talked about this guy in the other draft, on the baseball life draft, Hyunjin Ryu, who you asked me, do you actually take Kevin Gossman over Hyunjin Ryu? And I goes, yes, I do. Well, Steven from Houston decides, well, I don't think so, Felipe. I'm going to get the South Korean 34-year-old starting pitcher, and he's going to be planted on my starting rotation there. And a couple of old guys. Adam Wainwright going to Robert again. So who does he take on the turn? Oh, there is no turn. So there must have been a trade here that I'm not aware of. And now we bring in John E. Who's a big Oklahoma University fan. Goes with Kirby Yates, who we just found out.
Injured list.
Arm trouble. It's the time of year. By the way, Lourdes Gurriel only qualifies at left field in this league.
Yeah, so. I just saw he didn't play second base at all in 2020, but he did play 9 games in 2019.
Okay. There's Corbin Burns, which is criminally
Oh, that's
criminally going late. That is a great pick there by Steve.
I
From
just saw
Houston.
on Twitter last night in an NFBC league, pretty competitive. It was only 12 teams instead of 15, but the guy
Okay.
got Corbin Burns at like 56th, 57th overall, the same spot. And I'm like, what in the world? But yeah, that's probably the pick of the draft right there.
Yeah, I love that pick. I can't believe he actually went with Ryu before he did with Burns, but he must know the Texas guys better than we do because, like you said, like I said, Robert went with Adam winning right. Johnny went with the closer and Kirby Yates, and looks like Steven's gonna be coming out the winner in this pitching duel of sorts. Stephen Carey, who are my White Sox brethren, going with Drew Pomeranz, which is unfortunate for him because
You mean
he
Bushmill? Bushmill.
no, well, they're both my Chicago White Sox
Oh,
brethren.
okay, gotcha.
Oh my God, you are right. Yeah, sorry, Steven. Good catch there, Sean. There's Steven. Steven is Mac Attack. So, but no. So yet another closer by Bushnell, going with Drew Pomeranz, and not just any closer, but a guy who's kind of questionable at closer, and he also has a left
But
forearm
in a
issue as
points
well.
league, while you did say saves are worth 10 points, and that's huge. In a points league, these guys that are just great relievers tend to help you out no matter what.
Not in this league, no.
Oh, no. You don't get any holds or
It's
anything?
no holds. We've
No,
been
no
trying.
points for holds.
Listen, brother. I've been fighting with everybody in
Oh,
this league to put holds in there, and I keep getting pushback. So
okay,
not my
never
problem.
mind. I take back
So
my statement.
yeah. So sorry, man. But no, the big concern is the arm injury with Pomeranz because I have him in the other league, and I just found out that he has a left forearm
Oh,
issue.
yeah. You said that. I forgot that.
So hopefully it's nothing too serious. But either way, even when he's healthy, we don't know if he's gonna close or not because the Padres are loaded. Alex Verdugo going to Steve McAttack there. So that's I kind of like that pick. I don't know if I would have made it this early, but I don't know who else is available at this point. But here we go. Jeff, the new guy, second year man.
Back-to-back picks.
Back-to-back Diego Castillo, which another one in like in our league, that's fine. You get a Diego Castillo, just like I think Aaron got Diego Castillo in our baseball life league because it's a categories league, right? And Sixto Sanchez is a great keeper. Unfortunately for Jeff, this is not that kind of league. This is a points league. I know that he's ranked really high, but you know what it is here, Sean, is that CBS is assuming that Diego Castillo is the default closer, either him or Nick Anderson, and that's the only explanation I can give you as to why he's projected to score 459 points.
I don't, especially in a league that you're not going to get any sort of points for hold or anything like that with relief pitchers. I would steer away from Tampa Bay because even with their elite back end options, Nick Anderson, Pete Fairbanks, Diego Castillo, we're still probably going to see Castillo and Fairbanks used as openers. And I mean that what does that do for you in this league? It doesn't do much.
It doesn't do much unless you get you can't even get a win because if you don't go 5 innings, you don't qualify for the win.
Yeah.
So to preface or to summarize. In our baseball life fantasy league, great pickup, Diego Castillo. In the Mardi Gras Madness points league, not a fan.
Especially with this pick here, I would pick Amir Garrett over Diego Castillo because I think Garrett has the beamline chance for saves in Cincinnati right now. I don't know why you'd pick Castillo over Garrett, but that's just me.
Yeah, he must really like him. And again, you know what? And there were several picks for auto pick. Unfortunately, it doesn't tell you who was auto picked in this spreadsheet. I just know that Bushnell did not make a single pick. I didn't see him show up once last night. But really quick, Diego Castillo, according to CBS Sports, is projected to score 35 saves this year.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
they know something we don't, I guess.
No, they don't know jack at this point. I'm telling you. Matt Olson going back to my team. So it's been a while since I had Matt Olson. I might have had him last year too. I don't remember. But I was happy with this pick going with the mega power hitting Matt Olson, who plays in a very cavernous ballpark. John E. So John E. Goes with Kirby Yates and then Chris Bryant. So he's getting all the guys with the letter K on their names. What do you think about Chris Bryant here? In the 10th, in the
pretty good
round.
value. I like it, especially in a contract year. He's going to look to be proving a lot of people wrong. It's a good year to buy in on Bryant, and I'm usually not the person to do that. But count me in this year.
All right. Oh, so you're looking for a bounce back because you're like Mr. Don't trust Chris Bryant. His baseball.
I am very much that person. But if there's going to be a year, it should be this year, right? I mean, he's got to get paid.
He has to get paid. That doesn't guarantee anything.
And then their shoulder can bug him again for the next 4 years after this year. But it just has to be good this year.
Okay. Kerry, Steve over at Mac Attack explaining himself why with the Salvador Perez pick, saying that he's a trendsetter. So if you say so. Our fellow Yankee fan, I think he told me that he didn't have a pick until the 5th round. So this is the virtual 10th round right now. He goes with Sonny Gray with his first pick. Even though he has a back injury, so we'll see. But he is a Yankee fan. Sonny Gray is a former Yankee. Maybe there's a little bit of love there. I don't know.
I don't think there's much love between the Yankees and Sonny Gray.
Well, he's going to Juan. Oh, so the evil umpire, right? Yankees fan. This is the guy I was telling you about. His name is Juan Soto.
Hey.
So I know that'll make you happy.
Hey, Juan Soto, when you get a $500 billion contract, you think you could just throw some money at us peasants, please?
or just anybody named Juan Soto, right?
Yeah.
Amir Garrett, you mentioned him already. He's going to Kansas City Tim. Oh boy, he's off to his tricks again. Got to be careful with that guy. Kansas City Tim. Primo from South Jersey going Matt Chapman. So a couple of A's players going back to back, or not back to back, but going in this virtual 10th round. And then our champion finishes the round with Nick Castellanos. And as you can see, he does not have back-to-back picks here.
The string of 4 hitters that go at the end of this round and beginning of the next round are just so good for how late they went. Chapman, Castellano, Turner, McNeil is fantastic. The only one I would have some worries about is Chapman in a points league. The strikeouts could come back. They could be better. You don't really know. I'd probably pick Castellanos and McNeil, Chapman, Turner, just because I don't think Turner's going to play all that much because he always gets hurt. But that's a great group of 4 hitters right there.
All right. So let's talk about it. Matt Chapman and Jeff McNeil going to Primo's team. Primo's always a dangerous character to play in this league. I'm assuming you are. Well, you already said that you don't trust Matt Chapman. I had him last year. He got hurt.
I trust Matt Chapman more than I trust Justin Turner.
Okay.
I think Castellanos and McNeil both are elite in this type of format. McNeil with his ability to not strike out, Castellanos with that perfect blend of average and power. Mm-hmm. He's gotten a little unlucky. I feel like he's how Marcell Ozuna was in 2018 and 2019, where he was hitting the ball extremely hard and it just wasn't finding anything. I think Castellanos is primed for a breakout.
Well, I mean, I got him in my in the baseball life league, so I am expecting the same from him too. Will Smith. So remember, Kansas City Tim went ahead and got Amir Garrett. Now he's going with another left-handed relief pitcher in Will Smith. So we'll see if
living a dangerous game, my friend.
Yeah,
both of those guys should be the closers on their team, but the fact that they're left-handed and not named Aroldis Chapman, they might not be the closers on their team.
So yeah, I mean, we love them as pitchers, especially in our league, the baseball life league that we've been talking about. Not points league is a little bit risky, but if anybody likes to live dangerously and have those calculated risks pay off, it's Kansas City Tim. Speaking of closers, so yeah, the closers are just running like water at this point. The Yankees fan, Juan Soto, the evil umpire, goes with Rafael Montero. We talked about him in our podcast before. I believe you don't like him, right?
Who? Rafael Montero?
Montero.
I don't think he holds on to the job. He either gets traded after a good start or he's a bad start and they have options behind him. He's a bad team closer, so maybe he has some value, but I don't see the value here.
Oh, and then the commissioner, Robert's letting me know that he is all for holds. So yeah, let's get it done next year then. Let's bring value to all relief pitchers, right, Sean? That's the only way to go.
All relief pitchers matter.
Yeah. John E goes to Byron Buxton, center fielder extraordinaire. Actually, back-to-back center fielders going as your boy, your co-host gets Trent Grisham.
Good pick.
Yeah. Would you have gone Buxton over Grisham at all here?
In a points league, I would definitely pick Grisham over Buxton.
Okay. Well,
I think they both have slightly higher strikeout rates, but Grisham walks, Buxton doesn't. I think Grisham's going to score more runs just having a better on base. I think he's better in just about every way except home runs. And if Byron Buxton finally has that 95th percentile outcome, like we keep thinking he's going to, then that's the only way I really see it, though.
Well, CVS is very gun-ho on him, as you can see. 462 points for Buxton, 417 projected points for Trent Grisham. But as you've seen some of the comments here, CVS projections are not a big hit so far in this league. So So we'll see if that comes to fruition. Balls out. California Mike goes for Corey Kluber.
Ew. Ew.
No, man.
Ew.
Dude,
Just not that early. I don't mind the pick, but not that early.
I noticed that Mike likes to pick a lot of old veterans who he feels like has one more good year out of them. He could just squeeze them, and the name recognition will get him some high draft picks when he flips them over.
I'm not sure if I've really roasted this guy's team yet, but you took a minute and 13 seconds just to make a bad pick. Like, come on. Like, if you had done it in 10 seconds and been like, ah, shit, whatever, Corey Kluber. But, I mean, you sat here and you took time. Aaron Savali, who another pick that I like from Bushnell, one of the better ones. But Marco Gonzalez, Jamison Tyon, Charlie Morton, Dylan Bundy, all guys that go after this. And you picked Corey freaking Kluber. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, but I'm going to be mean. That's a bad pick. Bad pick.
Thumbs down. Thumbs down.
Thumbs down.
I highlighted Jeff's team for Justin Turner and Keston Hiura. I tried my best, Sean, to get Keston Hiura, but every time it was my turn to draft Keston Hiura, I just kept hesitating and I chickened out and I went in different directions. Like in this example, I went with Trent Grisham to solidify my center field position. And I already had Ketel Marte, so Hiura would have been a luxury pick for me here.
Yeah, until Keston Hiura can solve the strikeout issues, I'm definitely avoiding him in points leagues.
Well, I had him third as my third best second baseman this year, and
that's generous. I'm not even sure you're going to see that.
Well, they're both keeper teams, so I'm going for the upside. But just like Hiura, I struck out in both my leagues. So, so he balances out the Justin Turner pick because he's a solid, safe floor guy, and he puts in Keston Hiura, who's a high upside, high risk kind of player. So it's an interesting mix there by Jeff's team. Mac Attack going with Starlin Castro.
Bad pick again.
Come on, Kerry, man. I'm
some other guys that you could have picked ahead of him. Javier Baez, Kyle Lewis. We have where is the guy? Mike Yastrzemski. Like, come on now, people.
Yeah, man. Come on. Steven, I'm your friend. I would have given you a discount on my spreadsheets this year. Come on. Just to show you how much I hate Starlin Castro, I'm gonna see if I can look at my other screen really quick and see where I have him ranked. Starlin Castro. In the meantime, Austin Meadows going to Houston Stevens team. So there's two Stevens. And then Michael Brantley going to the Astros fan and John E.
Hey, that's a great points league pickup, by the way. I actually like that one a lot.
It's not bad. Where the hell is Starlin Castro? Oh, Starlin Castro is my 31st best second baseman in my rankings.
Oof.
I don't like him. Let's move on here. And Bob, I keep calling him Bob. Robert, the commissioner, gets his pick back. Goes with Dallas Keuchel. Well, it is what it is, right? Former Astro.
In a points league, I think you go after innings even harder than any other format. Dallas Keuchel is a guy who, coming off a short season, the team doesn't even care. They're going to hand him the ball and say pitch. I mean, he's the guy that him and Lance Lynn are the guys they'll rely on to eat innings that guys like Kopech and maybe even Giolito, they might baby Giolito. So I think Keuchel and Lynn are the guys that they're going to rely on to really throw more innings. So he could be a good pick here in the points league.
Either that or Dallas Keuchel, former Astro, going to the Astros fan. Like I mentioned earlier in the podcast, there is some bias towards ex-players of your favorite team. So we'll see. Really quick, I want to just commend, what's his face? Houston Steven, not Chicago Steven. That's my friend. Houston Steven from the Houston Steelers. Finishing up, looks like he's finishing up his outfield, getting Austin Meadows at left field, Kyle Lewis at center field. So it's not too shabby there. Even though Matt Bushnell's an auto pick, he did make sure that a White Sox player did go to his team, Yasmani Grandal. So yet another catcher getting selected.
I'm not sure if you've seen him in the comments, but he said he looked at his roster after missing the draft and he was floored when he saw 4 catchers. And I just instantly thought of Taco from the league about like he'll draft like 7 kickers. And I'm like, oh, that's what it's like to wake up with 4 catchers on your roster.
Oh my God, he ended up with 4 catchers?
Yes.
Oh, I did not know that. I thought he ended up with like 20 relief pitchers because it seems like he's
he's going to field an entire team of relief pitchers and catchers and still beat you.
Oh my God, Carson Kelly, Yadier Molina, and Sean Murphy. No wonder I couldn't get Sean Murphy late in the draft. Well, that sucks.
Trade him a couple of outfielders.
Bushnell, if you're listening, I'll trade you for Sean Murphy. Come talk to me sometime. Let's see here. Jesus Luzardo, which is, I know that Steven loves him. I know that he's gone after him.
If Jesus Luzardo would have been there with your next pick, Would you have picked him?
Maybe, probably.
Also, I feel like I see you finally came to your senses and drafted Will Smith. You won't
Yeah,
be
I
you
mean,
won't be sorry. You're gonna love
I
it.
am sorry because he's gonna timeshare. Well, my goal was to get a second catcher to kind of complement him, so a second catcher who's gonna get playing time. And these damn people ruin my plans. I don't know. Like I felt like I was able to I manipulate my way in the baseball life league when it came to catcher, but here for whatever reason, probably because Bushnell kept picking all the catchers on auto pick, but yeah, that was very disappointing that I wasn't able to complement Will Smith with another catcher who's guaranteed more playing time. But yeah, I didn't like any of these other guys here. I mean, why do I want Shohei Ohtani? I know he's gonna pitch, but I already got Jordan Alvarez. I don't like
In
Marco
this format,
Gonzalez.
do you get both the hitter and the pitcher?
I believe so. I believe
But
that's the
but it's a
question
weekly
too.
league, so
Yeah,
yeah, he kind of loses all value.
yeah. So, but I mean, yeah, because because the Angels are gonna be what on a 6-man rotation.
Yeah, but
So
they're not going to do how they were doing him before, where it was like he would pitch on Sundays and that was his dedicated day to pitch. They're just going to pitch him whenever his time in the rotation comes up.
all right, so maybe there is a chance he will get to pitch twice in 1 week because that's a big thing in this league is
Yeah.
being able to pitch twice. But I know balls out. Mike, he is Angels fan, so well, let's go back a little bit. We got Javier Baez and Anthony Santander. Pretty solid picks. I know you mentioned Baez already. That you would have picked.
I don't
him
like Baez in
over.
a points league, but I'll take Baez over Castro in a points league.
Yeah. So
And Anthony Santander here, I actually really do like the pick.
go
Anyone
ahead.
who's slated to get like a lot of ABs in Baltimore with the contact and power skills that Santander has shown is going to be really good.
Well, going to Johnny's team again. Trying to solidify the. He got Michael Brantley in the last round, Anthony Santander in this round. So there's a little bit of a method to his madness here. The Yankees fan, Juan Soto gets Marco Gonzalez and Jameson Taillon, Charlie Morton. You mentioned those guys already. Another DH gets elected. JD Martinez going to the champ.
Too
Let's
late.
move on.
Too late.
Too late.
Yeah.
But too late.
For JD Martinez. Yeah, I would have picked him sooner.
Okay. Texas sooner. So the champ, what's his face? Shane gets both JD Martinez and Brad Hand back-to-back picks. You're a fan of those pairings there, Sean?
I'm trying my best to avoid Brad Hand in fantasy. Yes, he's they've anointed him the closer, basically. Tanner Rainey's been slow to start in spring training. I think he just had his first appearance. But I just feel like Brad Hand's grasp, hand grasp, got it. His grasp on the closer's role is just like razor thin. Like it could take just one or two bad outings and he's out of the role because they have guys, they signed Daniel Hudson to big money. Not big money, but Daniel Hudson and Will Harris both have guaranteed contracts. And then they have Tanner Rainey if they want to use him there. So they have options in hand. I've been saying for a while is going on the downslope of his career. So risky pick.
And that's something we talked about when we did the preview for the remember we did the team by team preview for the Nationals, and when we selected our teams, I think there was like maybe 4 or 5 national relief pitchers that were selected. Nothing to do with the fact that our guy Leon Tompkins was in the podcast, but I think he ended up with 3 of them. So all right, so South Jersey, Jersey. I was gonna call him Jersey Mike. No, Jersey Primo. Pairing Jake Cronenworth, pairing the Charlie Morton pick in the previous round with Jake Cronenworth here. I know we talked about Charlie Morton. We're kind of iffy on him, Sean. Jake Cronenworth, I loved him last year. I'm not so sure about him this year, Sean.
Playing time concerns. There's too many good hitters. The fact that San Diego went out and re-signed Profar, who was a free agent, that really makes me worry. Granted, Profar, they've been trying to shoehorn to be the backup center fielder. I just don't even think he was ever that guy to play center field. But I don't know. Cronenworth has the versatility to be on the roster, but is he really starting material in a was it 12-team league, right?
12-team league, yep.
Yeah, I'm not sure unless there's an injury, he just sits on your bench for a couple of weeks. Like I don't know what you do with him.
Yeah, I'm not a I like I said, liked them last year, not so much this year. I highlighted Kansas City Tim's back-to-back picks in the 12th round and 13th round. Jameson Taillon going in the previous round. Dylan Bundy going in the 13th round. I actually like that pairing a lot there, Sean, this late in the draft. I just wanted to point that out.
Nelson Cruz too late. What's with these DHs going too late? Like JD Martinez and Nelson Cruz go. Wow.
I think it's because you know, I think this is a league where people would prefer guys to field because they have so many. It's a left field, center field, right field league.
Oh, okay.
So that I think that when you have a league like that, I feel like owners would rather have a guy who can play at multiple positions and not be handcuffed to only the DH spot.
Yeah.
So I think that's why. I mean, I usually go that route, but I saw Yordan Alvarez and I couldn't help myself. I had to get him. So, and I think some of these guys like Juan Soto here, and who else got a DH? Mike from Los Angeles, from California, the Angels fan. They saw that DHs show up and they just had to have them. They had to have them. So, Brian Anderson going to Johnny's team. Matt
Good
Barnes,
pick. Solid pick. Another risky RP pick, but
well, compared to everybody else, and at this point,
I'm not even sure he's like. He might be the closer for a couple of weeks, and then he might suck, and then you have no clue who's going to be the closer.
Listen, brother, I know what I'm getting myself into with Matt Barnes, but I look around and like, well, all the closers that I really like just went by like.
Are we even sure he's better than Darwinzon Hernandez? They both have good strikeouts. They both have no clue where the ball's going.
Boston likes him. They like Matt Barnes because I know he's in competition with Adam Ottavino right now, but there's no way on God's green earth Adam Ottavino is going to be the closer for the Red Sox.
I hope not.
Yeah, and Matt Barnes is I don't like him that much, but again,
every time they tried to make him the closer, he just like coughs it right back up.
I know. You're being
he's like trying to give your dog a pill. You give it to him like in all these different shapes and sizes, and the pill just spits back out. That's Matt Barnes. The Red Sox try and feed him the closer's role, and he spits it right back out.
But as long as he's the closer, he looks like he has the inside track. He's actually pitched very well this spring from all accounts. And like I said, there was no closers that were left over. Like the cover was dry at this point, so I had to get a closer, and that's the guy I went with. I know you're gonna tell me, well, you could have had some of these starting pitchers. Like I could have, but
I love all three of those starting pitchers at the end of the round. Yes. Even Bundy at the beginning, but especially the last three.
Yeah. It's a solid trio there.
Lamet's risky. McCullers, I absolutely love. Mm-hmm. And Sandy Alcantara is, I think, going to be a really slept on fantasy asset this year.
Yeah, a little bit too untrustworthy for me. But look at Texas.
Well, I was watching the Mets Astros spring training. I'm not going to go off on too much of a tangent, but the Astros pitching coach, he was talking about Lance McCullers. He said that McCullers is, not even unique, but his main pitch, the curveball that he's, great pitch. He said it's the second best pitch he's seen since Mike Scott's splitter. And I was like, that's interesting. Exaggerating, but good. And then he has a new slider that he's adding this year that Brent Strom said McCullers is really excited about. And then the thing that made me turn around, I wasn't even paying attention to the game. He said, I see 180 innings. And I was like, no way. I was like, no way. You're kidding me. No way. If Lance McCullers throws 180 innings, I'm going to be the happiest man on earth. I have so many shares of him. It's just going to be glorious. Will he actually do it? Probably not. But hey, one can dream.
And really quick, I just wanted to point out that, again, our guy John E. Goes back-to-back Marlins in this round, in 13th round, virtual 13th round. Brian Anderson, the third baseman from Miami, and Sandy Alcantara, who you just mentioned you like a lot. Question for you, Sean. Brian Anderson or Gio Urshela in this round?
Brian Anderson. I think Gio Urshela is like the de facto third baseman for the Yankees. But if there's any sort of, slippage from him, I feel like they have options that they would, DJ LeMahieu to third, Miguel Andujar and his whole adventure to third base. Like Urshela could find himself. I know he played a little bit of short too, so maybe that's his saving grace. Although him and Suarez, who just moved from third to short the last few spring training games, have no reason being there. But I don't know. Urshela, there's too many contingencies. I think this late it's not too big of a risk. But Brian Anderson has the more solidified role.
Oh, interesting. Mike Yastrzemski and Alex Dickerson just wanted to point out that we go Giants with
love Giants both of those. That's a great auto pick for Bushnell. Alex Dickerson, probably the large side of a platoon right now. But since going to San Francisco, he's absolutely raked. Nobody talks about him. He's great.
Oh, no. Hold on, Sean. What do you mean nobody talks about him? We talked about him season 1 of this podcast.
Yeah, so. And we had him in the Dynasty Guru writers mock too.
There you go. And speaking of Alcantara, and this is okay. I don't. Oh, this is gonna get me so pissed off. So, John E goes. Not only does he go back to back Marlins in those 13th round picks, virtual 13th round, but in the virtual 14th round, he goes back to back on going from one round to the next with Sandy Alcantara and Joe Musgrove, which really irked me because I was getting to pounce on Joe Musgrove right in this round. And unfortunately, Johnny, with his multiple picks, had the same idea as I did. So that kind of pissed me off. And this is where things just start to begin to unravel here for me, Sean. I went with the closer because I thought I needed one more closer to kind of solidify my pitching staff. And that cost me Joe Musgrove. So I'm pretty angry at myself right now. Pablo Lopez, another guy that I like from last year. He goes to Houston Stevens teams. Max Kepler going to Bushnell's team on
Good
the
pick. Good pick. That's two good picks in a row for Bushnell. We're on a roll here.
Mac Attack, Steve Carey. So far, I've not been impressed with Steve. I'm usually he's like my nemesis, or so to speak, especially for fantasy football. Fantasy baseball, he won that championship a year or two ago. So far, I'm not impressed with any of his picks, man. I have nothing has just like, wow, man, Steve really knocked it out of the ballpark. So I know he's gonna give me.
I mean, aside from those early first basemen that went in the second round, what was the seventh? You had Voit, Hoskins, and Muncy. Then there was kind of like this. It's definitely an Olsen. You picked Olsen.
Yeah,
I'm not crazy about Hosmer, but if he's batting in the middle of the Padres lineup, it's kind of hard to be mad at it.
No, I'm not and it's all, like I said, like I mentioned on Sunday, it's all relative, right? I like the pick. Don't get me wrong. It's just coming from him. I don't know. It's not that wow factor that, like, oh my God, he got Eric Hosmer so late. Like,
I mean, at worst,
at
you could have punted first base, gone a couple of more rounds, or actually almost 2 rounds exactly, and pick Carlos Santana, who is always slept on in points leagues. He's always just fantastic in points leagues. But like I said, those are probably your 2 best first basemen left on the board.
Yeah,
it's hard not to differentiate between either.
Yeah. The Evil Empire goes after Herman Marquez Sunday.
Talk about a stark difference between how our draft went in the Baseball Life Fantrax League, where he went at the beginning of round 2 after only 3 keepers.
Henry loved him.
I love Herman Marquez too. And I think a reason to really buy in is the Rockies, I think, are about to implode. And I think we see Marquez get traded. I don't know where, but literally any other park, Herman Marquez is probably a top 15. I think people don't realize exactly how good he is when he's not pitching in Coors Field. Mm-hmm. So I like this pick, especially at the value. I think that's way too late for Herman Marquez, especially in a league where basically 5 rounds were already gone. So this is the, it's still the 14th, right? Yeah.
So back-to-back Rockies going here. Primo getting CJ Cron. I picked CJ Cron in the Baseball Life League last year, Sean. Didn't get much out of him, but
he had the knee injury, and then I think he played like 2 games. But yeah, CJ Cron is absolutely like flying up draft boards. Like he went from not being drafted, and then he saw it like early in the fall, signed with the Rockies to a minor league deal, moved up a little bit, and then I guess he's hit well in spring training. I haven't really looked at it yet.
Okay.
But it's funny at how high he is now that we're only a week or 2 out from the season. He's still like, they're going to have to clear a 40-man spot for him because it was just a minor league deal.
Yeah.
But if we just look at CJ Cron's like batted ball data from the last 5 years, when he was in Tampa, when he was in Detroit, and you just like put that on top of Coors Field, oh my God, it's like drooling numbers. But I feel like a lot of people are getting like moving up too high for a guy who's not even on the roster yet, technically.
And it's official. CJ Cron is moving up. His contract was selected by the Rockies on March 20th.
Okay, so just a couple days ago. There we go.
And according to Roster Resource, he is the listed first baseman for the Rockies at the moment. It's a very good pick. His
where do they have him batting in the lineup? Roster Resource so far.
1, 2, 3, 4, fifth behind. Okay. Charlie Blackmon's in front of him, and then Sam Hilliard is his protection. So.
Oh, poor guy.
CJ Cron. He's projected to get 31 home runs, bat 268, 337 on base, and 521 slugging. So,
if he gets everyday ABs, it's a monster move.
Yeah, and I was talking about like, Carey, why don't you wow me? And then Primo does it with the next couple of picks later with the wow factor there. So back to back Rockies, good picks there, with really good picks, solid picks by both of those guys, Soto and Primo. And then it gets to me, Eugenio Suarez, who I couldn't believe. Sean, let me tell you, man, Eugenio Suarez was on the top of my queue for like at least 3 or 4 rounds, maybe even 5 rounds, and there was the disrespect for this guy. And I know that by this time of the draft, the virtual 14th round, there a lot of people's third base positions already locked up. So I got that luxury to kind of wait a little longer, especially with Joe Musgrove getting picked. Like the solid choice for me was, or the go-to pick was Eugenio Suarez. So
Especially if he picks up shortstop eligibility for you.
hell yeah,
That's going to be nice. Granted, I will say this: I'll throw a little bit of cold water here.
Go ahead.
The bat's awesome. You know, he's a bona fide power hitter now, especially in that park. But over the last 2 years, almost 900 plate appearances, he has a 29% strikeout rate. I think that's something that's for real now. I think he's gotten so caught up, especially when he hit 49 home runs in 2019 and saw his strikeout percentage go like 5 points higher than it had ever been before. And then it was the same thing in 2020. So with that high of strikeouts, you really do have to bring him back down to earth a little bit in points leagues.
Well, he was brought down to the virtual 14th round, lands on my team. So I'm happy.
It's still great. It's still great value for him, but you know that's maybe why he went so late. I don't know.
Well, everybody's lost his mic game. That's how I see it. John E going with Dansby Swanson. So John E having himself a very busy late draft here, as now he has Sandy Alcantara, Joe Musgrove, Dansby Swanson. How you liking those 3 picks right there, Sean?
I don't touch Dansby Swanson.
Yeah, ditto.
I don't touch Phillies relievers until they can prove they're not historically ass. Clint Frazier, if he has the job, that's a great pick.
Oh, for people who can't see, the next pick after Dansby Swanson is the Evil Empire, the Yankees fan, Archie Bradley, going to that team, Juan Soto's team, and he paired him up with German Marquez. So you go from a very good pickup in German Marquez, and then you get Archie Bradley.
But like you said, it does appear relief pitcher really did get picked clean. So the one relief pitcher that goes after Archie Bradley that I'd still probably pick in front of Archie Bradley is Craig Kimbrell. And there's one other one I saw. Joaquin Soria went after him, but I'm not really sold on Soria either. So if it comes down to Archie Bradley or Craig Kimbrell, I'm picking Craig Kimbrell. Oh my, I can't say his name. Let's move on.
All right. Well, like you mentioned, Clint Frazier. I'm not really worried about Clint Frazier, except for the fact that he goes to Kansas City Tim's team. Say that 20 times fast. Primo with a questionable pick, Willie Castro. I think you said you liked them.
It's a weird thing with Willie Castro. I don't get it. You look at it and it's hard to believe, but I think I'm buying in. I'm starting to buy in on Willie Castro.
Okay, well, you do that. I'll steer clear. And of course, we get to Shane must have been paying attention to the podcast. That's how I'm gonna frame it. The champion was paying attention to the podcast.
He's doing his homework.
He goes back to back Felipe picks here, Ramon Laureano and Kevin Gausman, and this is the straw that broke my back right here, man. I was so pissed off that I struck out on both Joe Musgrove and Kevin Gausman, like my name was Gary Sanchez or something. Or who were we talking about? Joey Gallo. Who were we talking about earlier?
Gary Sanchez, I believe.
No, that was.
Oh wait, in this show, striking out a lot. Suarez.
No, it was earlier than that. It was somebody else.
Keston Hiura.
Oh yeah, I struck out twice like Keston Hiura with losing both on Joe Musgrove and Kevin Gausman. I was devastated. But no, you know what it is, Sean. I don't get mad. I just adjust and move on. We'll see who I picked up in the virtual 15th round. Primo actually kind of redeems himself with the Ian Happ pick after going with Willie Castro in the last round. Brady Singer, homer pick by Kansas City Tim. So that is his weakness. He loves his Royals. So try to use that against him. The Yankees fan going with Brandon Nimmo.
Hey, Brandon Nimmo posted his first below league average strikeout rate in 2020 in a points league. That's big, especially for someone like Brandon Nimmo, who's like guaranteed for a 15% walk rate, leading off in one of the best lineups in the National League. I'm the biggest Brandon Nimmo stan, I think, on the planet Earth. So, of course, I'm going to love this pick.
And Ty France, or as I like to call him, thank you, France.
And we talked about him a little bit on the show yesterday.
All right, so we don't have to talk
You
about
know,
him now, right? So
he's going to be
move on?
really. I think he's a good
Okay.
hitter. He's a
If you
good
say
hitter.
so. Oh, whatever. I don't care. Tyler Mahle. So is it Mahle or Mahle? Did we decide what his
Molly. Getting
So-
Wally with Tyler Molly and Aaron Savali, as MLB moving averages said on his podcast the other day.
Well,
it had me cracking up.
I could use some Molly after that debacle with Joe Musgrove and Kevin Gossman not being on my team, but that's fine. Tyler Molly, a guy who I had last year, you picked him up in our league, unfortunately, because I was targeting him as well. And so a nice little consolation prize. But yeah, at this point, my pitching is not very strong, which Moving on to John E's team. So he pairs up Ty France with Zach Davies. No, I'm
innings,
not a fan of that.
Innings.
Okay,
that I feel like that's all you're getting. There's innings.
Multiple picks for our Yankee fans. So he goes Brandon Nimmo and Tristan McKenzie, who we talked about on Sunday's show. We are a little concerned about Tristan McKenzie still, right, Sean?
Yeah, in another DH that went too late.
Jorge Soler. Hey, well, again, if he were a left fielder or right fielder, I think he would have gone a little earlier. But that's a solid pick there by Makatek. So there you go. A little compliment from my friend.
I could see Jorge Soler picking up one of the outfields mid-season, though.
He just needs 5 games, man. Then he qualifies.
Yeah, just 5 games. Like Carlos Santana might play a couple of games at first. They might move Hunter Dozier to DH. I mean, they have a lot of moving pieces. Soler's probably going to pick up outfield eligibility if it's only 5 games.
Matt Bushnell with the auto pick going with Colton Wong, and that's he finally came around to my type of thinking about Nick Magical. As you guys know, Bushnell's favorite team is the White Sox, and he would have he admitted to me that he would have preferred Colton Wong being signed with the White Sox, not the Brewers. Just to at least give Slappy a chance to kind of get his bearings straight. But
get his bearings.
But I was gonna say he didn't go to the White Sox, but Colton Wong is on Team Bushnell. So there you go.
Granted, in a points league, Colton Wong is a sneaky on base guy.
Yeah.
And he's projected to be the leadoff hitter, batting in front of Lorenzo Cain, Christian Yelich, and all those other guys. So that actually is not a terrible pick.
It's a really good pick. I don't know if that
there might be some second basemen that go behind where I'm going to say, okay, I'd pick him over that, but I actually like that pick.
Yeah, you could do a lot worse this late in the draft for a second baseman, as we talk about it.
You okay? So I'm sneaking ahead here, and I'm going to try not to spoil it. But you're saying all these bad things about Slappy, and I'm about to slap you in 3 rounds. That's all I'm going to say.
Righty. I don't know what that means, but as you see, back-to-back catchers going here with Houston and Castroville. Castroville is an actual town in Texas, I believe, from what I remember. Alec Mills going in the virtual 16th round. Robert starting us off there. So we got Scarver and Alec Mills. I don't know, man. I'm not a fan of that, but I think Castroville's kind of looking for a catcher at this point, and he's looking for another pitcher. Another David Fletcher-like type pitcher, so to speak. So, Brian Hayes, there's our guy going to Houston Steelers. Houston is not a steel town, but Pittsburgh is. So we'll go with that. You mentioned Carlos Santana.
There you go. Awesome in a points league. Awesome. Oh, that's a Bushnell pick. There you go. That's another good pick. That's like 4 picks in a row by the computer. I like it.
Yeah. So, okay. Hold on, Sean. I gotta do something. There we go. Okay, it's fixed. Let me go back in there. Okay, back to sharing.
We need some elevator music for whenever you go to edit your spreadsheets.
Oh yeah, I could do that. I could provide the music. Jorge Polanco. Last I checked, I don't know what his status is with the Twins, because last I checked, it was going to be Luis Reyes and Andrelton Simmons as the middle infield pairing.
No,
is that how you're seeing it?
I thought Polanco was slated to start.
Earlier,
Arias is the bench piece. That's
they moved him.
I keep hearing in this. I thought has been the story all season, off season, is Polanco's moving to second base, and Arias is going to be the Ben Zobrist Swiss Army knife role.
Well, that's disappointing.
Yeah, it really is, because I love Luis Arias, and I think he should be the leadoff hitter. And
for the majority of the off season, roster resource had Polanco on the bench. And that's what I went with, because they signed Andrelton Simmons. The Twins did. I mean,
now he's slated to start at second base and bat fourth.
Now he is. I'm just saying this entire.
I think you might have been seeing stuff.
No. No. Come on. 90% of the time, I double check and I triple check, and I kept coming back, and roster resource. There it is again. Jorge Polanco on the bench. Simmons and Arias starting at middle infield. It's like, okay, well, I mean, they have that depth, so the Twins are going
Hey,
to
maybe if we were managing the Twins, that's what we would do.
Precisely. Why are you giving Andrelton Simmons so many at bats? Anyway,
Why are we giving Jorge Polanco so many at bats?
Because
are they just going to trade? Oh no! They're going to give Jorge Polanco all these at bats and then trade him, just like they did with Eduardo Escobar.
Well, I don't know why, because they're trying to compete this year. So
because Luis Arias is better than Jorge Polanco.
All right.
Maybe.
Luis Arias with okay, according to the depth chart projections over at Fangraphs, Luis Arias 546 plate appearances. That's a lot. That's good playing. I'm on a playing time, right? It's really a lot.
So I'm seeing the same thing on roster resource.
Here's my point. Hold on, Sean. Before you continue, here's my point. Luis Arias 5 home runs, 5 stolen bases out of 546 plate appearances.
It's a points league.
No.
He's gonna get you a lot of hits. Got a lot of 1-point games. And he doesn't give you any negative points because he never strikes out.
Okay. So a lot of 10, 12 points per week there. There you go. Travis d'Arnaud going to the Yankee fan, the Evil Empire. You mentioned Craig Kimbrell. I believe Mike from California, somehow he ends up with Craig Kimbrell every year. And then I get Alec Bohm. Alec Bohm, who's my remember I had Eugenio Suarez, we were concerned about the strikeouts. Well, this is a keeper league. Alec Bohm is under 25 years old. I saw that nobody had him. And before the Phillies fan in the group got him, I snatched him up before he did.
Too late, especially in a keeper league. That was too late of a pick. I love it though. I love Alec Bohm. Yeah. I see Anthony Rendon type level upside.
Yes,
there you go.
Yes, that's what I want to hear, Sean. That's why we have you here every week. So, Athlete Rushman. Speaking of keeper league, Athlete Rushman.
Could he not have been kept in a minor league slot?
Nobody wanted him.
Wow.
Because in this, listen, man, I've been doing this thing for like 20 years now. It seems like catching prospects are such a crapshoot. It's not worth it. So, but in this setting, I guess it was worth it. So we'll see if Rushman is the real deal. Because all we care about these catching prospects are their hit tools, right, Sean? We don't care about anything else, but
it's their defense and game calling skills that get them plate appearances. So we have to care about somewhat about that.
Yeah, exactly. But as long as he has the and I bring that up, Sean. I'm sorry to beat a dead horse here this late in the podcast, but the reason is a lot of the times that these catchers are ranked really high is mostly because of their defense and their hit tool is kind of an afterthought. But for fantasy purposes, it's the reverse. Yes, you need the defense to be there so we can get the playing time, Will Smith, but as long as they can hit, man, we got to keep an eye on them. And that's a really good pick up by John E. there. The Yankee fan, Juan Soto, Hunter Dozier, that's a good pick. I like it. I
like it too.
Okay, so now I don't feel so bad about
he's a guy who in 2020, people are totally forgetting what he did in 2019. And I vividly remember doing one of our first shows back in 2019 where we were talking about his, exit velocity on both line drives and fly balls. He was one of the best in the league early in that year. 2020, he never got his feet underneath him. He had a Yoan Moncada season. He got COVID and just never got there. So I think Hunter Dozier is an awesome pick for a bounce back.
The other problem with Hunter Dozier is that he's first base eligible and he's ranked as my 18th best first baseman. First base is just loaded. And he also qualifies at right field. But if you're
I was about to say, I think they plan on playing him primarily in right field. Actually, they have him primarily at third base. Whit Merrifield's supposed to be in right field.
Well, you know what, then, Sean, that's even a better pick because now he has 3 in this league. As far as I'm concerned, that would be 3 spots that he would.
But like we talked about with Soler, they got a lot of moving pieces. So Dozier's going to have multi-position eligibility. And somebody showed me an article that Hunter Dozier wants to run more, and I was like, Hunter Dozier's never really stolen bases, but anything you get from somebody like that is a bonus. And he actually has above average sprint speed. So take that for what you will.
He's on the right team. Man. The Kansas City Royals, they love to run because they got nothing else to play for. And Hunter Dozier, I'm glad to hear that he's going back to third base. That's where it all started for him, I believe.
Yes.
So Gary Sanchez, I was gonna say, and I don't feel so bad for picking Gary Sanchez in the Baseball Life League because Kansas City Tim picked him right here. So if he believes in him, I'm all in on Gary Sanchez now. So thank you, Tim, for solidifying my pick there.
He's batting 200 with a 28.5% strikeout rate. I'm getting tired of ranting about Gary Sanchez and how not good he is.
You do it to yourself, man. You do it to yourself. Joaquim Soria, who you mentioned earlier, Frankie Montes, who we mentioned on Sunday, Eduardo Rodriguez. That's pretty damn good there by Shane.
Next,
Frankie Montes and Eduardo Rodriguez going
yeah,
back to
the
back there.
string of starting pitchers that are about to go minus like Pineda and Skubal, who I could see the value in them. But Montes, Erod, Stroman, Soroka, Eflin, Means, that's such good value. All the people who got those are really good picks. Adele was really good. Skubal has looked great in spring training and has basically locked down a rotation role out of the gate.
That's why I got him.
Oh, you got him. I didn't even realize that was you.
Well, I got him in the other league too, so I made a note to. I mean, at this point, you took away Joe Musgrove and Kevin Gossman from me, so I'm just looking for anything at this point. So I got lucky that people slept on Tariq Skubal in the virtual 17th round. Josh Donaldson, you mentioned Joe Adele already, so we'll skip him. Josh Donaldson going to the Yankee fan. Greg Holland going to John E's team, and Mike, the Angels fan, going back-to-back picks here. Trey Mancini, Marcus Stroman. It's very peculiar of him to do that. What do you think?
Mancini could be really good. I mean, obviously, out of no fault of his own, he had the cancer stuff going on. If Trey Mancini, like the same thing with Anthony Santander, anyone who's slated to get like 350 plate appearances in Camden Yards is gold, especially someone like Mancini who's shown it before. It's just getting it.
All righty then. Mike Soroka. Okay, so there you go. Mac attack there. That's great pick up there. I finally get another legitimate compliment going your way, Steven. So don't shit on me later. So Mike Soroka, I know he has the Achilles heel, but he should be back by late April, according to one report that I saw. So it's a really good pick there. Zach Eflin. I was thinking about Zach Eflin, but then I saw they had a back problem, and like, nah, I need someone with health at this point because I can't keep taking risk at pitcher.
But hey, that's it. I like Zach Eflin this year. That is another good computer pick for Bushnell. This is looking better. Aside from the 3 really shitty relief pitchers they gave you early, things are looking up.
Yeah. John Means, Mark Canha going to the 2 Astros fans.
I haven't really got to talk about Mark Canha a whole lot, but over the last 2 seasons, he has an OPS only 10 points less than a certain Marcell Ozuna, who went number 1 overall in this draft.
That's right.
They almost identical strikeout numbers. Canha walks a little bit more. Obviously, Ozuna had the huge 2020, while Canha had a huge 2019. Recency bias. I think Canha goes too late in every single draft. I think he's a whole lot better than people realize.
So, as you can see, Robert goes with Kwang Young Kim from the Cardinals, along with Mark Canha. I don't know what to make of Kim from the Cardinals. I know.
I don't think he's good.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Like he had a sub-2 ERA in 2020. He had an xFIP over 4.5 and a FIP right below 4. He just seems like a really big pitch on the ground. Granted, with that infield, it might work, but a strikeout rate of 5.5 per 9 is like transporting us back to the 70s. I don't like that. I really don't like that at all. So,
some people
I think he is slated to go into their rotation to start.
Okay,
but I just don't buy it. I don't think he's good.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with that. So let's move on. Let's go to another crappy pitcher in Brad Keller. So John Means, Brad Keller. I don't like these picks, man. I don't see it. I know people love John Means, so I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Well, you know what? They love Brad Keller too. I don't know what the allure is. Maybe you can, in a couple sentences, you can tell me why I should get 2 shits about John Means and Brad Keller here.
John Means already had the breakout in 2019. Obviously, pitching in Baltimore sucks, but so far in spring training, been sitting at 94, 95. Brad Keller, wipeout slider, could probably try and strike guys out, and he doesn't really do that. But just like I hated on Kim, last year, Brad Keller only had a 5.6 K per 9 with a ERA of 2.5, but big ground ball rate. He just has such a great slider. I don't know how he doesn't strike more people out.
So I don't like him.
But I think he's destined to pitch innings for that team. He's the de facto, I think, ace. Him and Mike Minor are going to be relied upon heavily for Kansas City. So I don't hate. I like Keller over Kim. I think Keller has far more upside compared to Kim.
Actually, Danny Duffy is SP1.
Hey, to talk about a season 1 call. Actually, that's pre Total Bases podcast callback right there to Danny Duffy.
Oh, okay, so currently Roster Resource does have Brad Keller. I had Danny Duffy as my number 1 for some reason because that's how long ago I made these these spreadsheets. I think I was done by early March. Now we're in almost to late March, and things have changed. So Brad Keller, Mike Minor, you mentioned it, Brady Singer, and Danny Duffy is at the number 4
It's
spot.
weird. I'm looking at it right now. Roster Resource only has 4 starters for them: Keller, Minor, Singer, and Duffy.
And Jacob Junis is the long relief guy, so I don't know what that's all about.
It's like they forgot that all those young arms that they used in 2020 exist. Chris Bubich, Brady Singer.
Yeah, well, Chris Bubich is right there in the minor leagues. Scott Blewett is also in AAA. Listed at AAA. Carlos Hernandez is at AAA. So I don't know. Maybe they'll eventually call one of those guys
They'll
up.
figure something out.
Yeah, it's the Royals. They're not really trying this year. Aaron Hicks going to Bushnell's team again with the auto pick. Austin Nola.
Not a bad pick in a points league. He's better in points. Once again, computer's doing okay.
Austin Nola. This is not a computer pick, or maybe it is. I forgot which. Carrie told me that there was 2 of his picks that were computer generated. I don't know if this is one of them, but remember, Stephen Carey already had Salvador Perez, and now he drafts Austin Nola here. So, not sure what that's all about.
Last I heard, Austin Nola had like hurt his finger, broken finger. So.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking.
San Diego really likes him. I mean, they traded some good pieces to get him.
Oh, yeah.
Is supposed to be the everyday guy, Caratini backing him up, but risky pick. I like it, though.
Yeah. For this format, it doesn't make any sense. You save those catches for a guy like me who took a chance on Will Smith. David Price going to Jeff's team, right? And then Noah Syndergaard going to Mike's team. So which pitcher do you like here better, David Price?
Come on, that can't even be a real question. Come on now.
Well, it is a question because David Price is somewhat healthy, and Noah Syndergaard is not expected until July.
I will June. Thank you very much. June.
I saw July. Let me double check that. But go ahead.
They put him on the 60-day IL, and since the beginning, they've basically said beginning of June. I think I'd rather have 4 or 5 months of Syndergaard over a full season of David Price, just because I don't think David Price and his 39-year-old arm, he might be 35, but his arm is at least 40.
Hey, hold on now. He's well rested. Come on, give him.
He's well rested. You know who's well rested? Bartolo Colon. Why don't we throw him out there?
Because he's living the life right now, man. He's just traveling.
He's in the Mexican League.
I told you he's traveling life right now. So that used to be a group of ours, traveling life. Jordan Montgomery goes to my team because remember, I picked him up in the Baseball Life League, and at this point, I am super desperate for any type of pitching, any middle of the road pitching, just to fill out my rotation. And
blank for pitching. I can't say that. I think that's frowned upon. But you got the cardboard sign that just says "will blank for pitching."
Well, he's from what I've been reading, he's been looking good in spring training, so I'll just go with that, I guess. Andres Jimenez going to Primo's team over there in South Philly.
I really like Jimenez. I think he's more valuable in a roto league where those steals really are going to help you out.
Then Gene Segura going to the Evil Empire, and then Kansas City Tim going with Kyle Schwarber.
I like that pick. I like that pick a lot.
Yeah, very late. What's this? The virtual 18th round, so pretty good. Let's go to Primo's team again. Wait, is that another pick for Primo? So yeah, he goes with Andres Jimenez and Domingo Herman, or as I like to call Domingo Herman, Sunday German. And of course, because it has to be that way, Andrew Haney gets selected by the champion, Texas Power Drinkers, along with Chris Bassett. Because you know why I'm saying it like that, right, Sean?
Why?
Because I had those two. Because after I picked Jordan Montgomery, I had those 2 other guys, Andrew Haney and Chris Bassett. I moved those guys up to the top of my my queue. But why bothered? Because Shane was gonna pick them anyway. So it's like these guys, they just grab all the pitches for some reason. I don't know why. Who's next here? Oops, wrong button. Bear with me. There he is. I wanted to point something out here, but Primo, this pick really pissed me off because that was going to be my ace in the hole, right, Sean? I get Will Smith, and then I paired him up with Dalton Varsho.
So you wanted 2 catchers with playing time concerns. That's real smart.
Well, hold on now. The thing with the thing that is so intriguing about Dalton Varsho is that he's a catcher. He's listed as a catcher, but he'll be playing outfield if he does win that job. And if he wins that job, hey, that's all you want from your catcher, right?
I think he's going to AAA. I don't think
It's okay.
he's...
Put him in my minor league slot, right? I got
Yeah.
Lewis. I don't need him
With
anymore.
Varsho, I saw a really funny tweet about him today, and it said all these people that are hoping that Dalton Varsho will win an outfield job, but still maintain catcher eligibility and be able to play every day as a catcher in fantasy. He said, I want to pull all those people around the campfire and tell you guys the story of John Jaso. And I about fell out of my damn seat.
That is a horrible comparison.
I know, because Varsho can actually run.
Yeah, that's an awful comparison.
But Jaso did dabble in the outfield.
I don't care. That's not even the same thing. Let's get that
close
guy.
enough.
Okay, who was this guy?
I'd have to find it on Twitter.
Okay, well, it doesn't matter. Okay, so we're in the campfire. He's going to tell us a story. I will throw this guy in the campfire. That's not even a good example. You know what the best example would have been right there, Sean? Ryan Domit. At least do it.
I mean, offensively, if you take away the speed, John Jaso and Dalton Varsho look a lot alike.
Why, they have the same body frame and all that? What?
No, not even that, but like just kind of looking at...
So they're not alike.
Solid batting averages, solid on base. I don't think Varsho's going to be a big power hitter, just like Jaso was. Jaso was more of a doubles and on base guy. I don't think Varsho's going to be a huge power hitter.
I don't know about that, because John Jaso could not hit for power at all. Like, just not good at it at all. I remember that much. But in on base leagues, he was great when he could actually play, but he was great. I don't remember John Jaso ever being considered for an outfield position. Ryan Domit, yes, he was.
John Jaso, right here, he played. I'm gonna pull it up. He played in his career 72 games in the outfield.
So how many years did he play? What, 10 years?
Yeah, something like that.
So seven.
In all of those, ironically, Jaso was playing in the outfield like the last 3 years of his career, which you would think it'd be the opposite. You'd want to play the outfield when you're younger, not when you're 33.
Yeah, not a fan of that. Okay, so let's go back to Dalton Varsho. He hit in high A, hit 451 slugging percentage, 520 slugging percentage in double A. I know the home run totals aren't there, but hold on, Sean. The reason you get Dalton Varsho is, maybe not so much in a points league, but especially in a categories league like ours, right? It's a stolen bases factor.
Yeah, the stolen bases are huge.
That's why I don't like that John Jaso comparison. But anyway, let's get going. Nick Senzel going to Kansas City Tim. And as you know, Sean, that was my last pick in the Baseball Life League.
Yes.
Tommy, I love this pick. Tommy Pham.
Too late for a guy in a points league. Pham's always been a points league specialist.
Yeah.
They haven't figured out. The Padres have kept rotating out their leadoff hitter the last few games of spring training. Like everything else has been set in stone with Tatis, Machado, and Hosmer. But Grisham's hurt. Pham's gone up there a couple of times. So if Pham's the leadoff hitter in front of Tatis and Machado in a points league, with how much he gets on base, as long as he doesn't have any ill side effects from being stabbed, I mean, there's some obvious issues there, but could be that's a great value.
All righty. But yeah, I think the Tommy Pham suffers for the fact that he only qualifies to left field. And I don't know if you saw the other league, Sean, but left field is loaded. And center field and right field was actually kind of barren this year. And that's because of, COVID and not enough playing time to play multiple positions.
Did you notice that Austin Slater was util only in our Fantrax league?
I did now. I did not know that.
Yeah, so Austin Slater, who played like 17 or 18 games in the outfield in 2020, but he was like 9 at one and 8 at another. So he's didn't qualify for any outfield. I was like, man. Oh my God.
Oops. CJ Abrams, John E. going with the trying to make an addition to his minor league slot. So that's pretty good. And then look what happens here. I'm pretty proud of myself here.
I told you this was when I said I was going to slap you in a few rounds. This was it. You're talking all that shit about Nick Madrigal, and you pick him anyway.
But look how late I'm drafting him. Like round 19. You suckers are drafting him like he's an elite second baseman or something.
He is an elite second baseman.
Well, if he was, he would have been drafted a long time ago. But I snatched him up, so I got to pair him up with Ketel Marte. Means I can move Ketel Marte to center field if this Nick Madrigal guy actually pans out. So yeah. I beat the two other White Sox fans to the punch, even though I talked all that crap about Nick Madrigal. I did tell you a long time ago, Sean, that for as much grief I give everybody for Nick Magical, I do like his upside. So
Okay, so this is somewhat of a development on roster resource. Um, I'm pretty sure it's wrong. I think Tim LeCastro is going to end up being the starting center fielder. But right now, roster resource has Ketel Marte starting in center field
yeah,
with Varsho starting in right field and my boy Josh Rojas starting at second base. I don't think that's what it's going to be, though.
Well, a guy can dream now, can he? So I've been using roster resource for years. I don't know. I think the guys over at Dong City, they were using ESPN, and it didn't sound right. A lot of the things that they were talking about, who was on the roster, did not sound right to me. But like I said, I exclusively use roster resource. So you guys do what you guys want to do. But I'll stick with my with Jason Martinez over there. Will Myers going to Mike. Will Myers, another questionable pick. We talked about it ad nauseum on
playing
Sunday.
time concerns, and in a points league, he's not as valuable.
Well, here's a projection: 425. CBS, man, you got to update those things. James Paxton. Sean. You know what? You want to know how desperate I was for pitching this late in the draft? I was considering James Paxton.
Hey, James Paxton in his most recent, I'm going to try and pull it up, but I don't think I'm going to be able to find it. But he looked good in his last spring training outing, was sitting at like 94 and hit 96 a couple of times, which is really making me feel like I might hop back on the James Paxton train.
Yeah, but you know why? It's why I try to get away from him. Number one, Mariners have a 6-man rotation. Number two, the past injuries. And I've had James Paxton before. He's screwed me so many times in this godforsaken league. So I have bitter taste in my mouth. But anyway, Alex Kirilloff. Okay, so remember I was giving Steve a lot of shit about not liking his picks or going vanilla with his picks or whatever. This is another pick that I absolutely love here. Alex Kirilloff. If I wasn't stacked at outfield already, or if I wasn't comfortable at outfield, I think I would have gone after Kirilloff or myself. But no, Kerry beat me to it. So kudos to him. We talked about Bushnell having 20 catchers on his team. Ryan Yarbrough going to Houston Steelers. I don't know, man. And he pairs them up with Dominic Smith.
How much are wins worth in your league?
10 points. 10 points.
10? Okay, so you get the same for... Because I think Yarbrough might sneakily win a bunch of games used as a follower.
Okay.
Like, because he has the ability to pitch, multiple times through a lineup. And if they use an opener that goes 1 or 2 innings, then all he has to do is throw 3 or 4, really 3 to qualify for the win as long as they have the lead. So I think he could kind of sneak into some wins as a primary follower.
Okay. Well, we'll see if that actually comes to fruition. I just, in this league, I just don't remember him doing anything consistently to warrant a draft pick, but that's just me. So I like how both Astros fans kind of flip-flop. They both got Tampa Bay Rays pitchers and 2 first basemen. So we mentioned Yarbrough and Dominic Smith going to Houston Steelers. Casterville Crushers getting Jarrett Walsh and Chris Archer on back-to-back picks. So that's pretty cool. I don't know if that's by design or if that's just a coincidence, but still pretty cool. I commend them both for doing so. We talked about Sean Murphy already. He goes to Bushnell team, so that gives him his 30th catcher on that team. Tommy Edman. There's another good pick there by Mac.
Too late.
So I'm starting to compliment him now. So I was, gleefully egging him and just taking a dump on his head. But I'm coming around to Mac Attack here. Jeff getting Dylan Carlson, who was mentioned at Dong City, Sean. So as someone that could potentially make some noise. Do you like Dylan Carlson's prospects for this year?
I was going to say, I want to say we talked about him a little bit yesterday. I think he's one of those post-hype sleeper guys.
Yeah.
They have a lot of options, so if he struggles, he could see some time in AA, AAA, wherever they want to send him. But it looks like they're going to give him as much rope they want to, go out there and play.
And Austin, our buddy Austin, who's it's kind of weird to see him on a Monday night. I'm used to seeing him on a Sunday morning. He's also on board with you. All this smack talk about Madrigal and Fletcher Felipe and Nick Solak, and I'm like, hey, wait a minute. I didn't remember talking stuff about Nick Solak. I
think you had last year, honestly.
Last year?
Yeah.
I remember.
Last year's Nick Solak is this year's Nick Madrigal, and then maybe you'll actually like Nick Madrigal next year.
I don't know about that. I don't know if I didn't like his playing situation last year, but that's last year. That's season 1 stuff. We're in season 2 now, and I ended up getting Nick Solak in the Baseball Life League anyway. So, forget what you heard, man. But yeah, Fletcher, Magical. Yes, I've been bashing them all off season. Chris Sale going to Mike, and this is such a Mike move. Mike from California does this all the time. He always ends up with Chris Sale on his team. It's ridiculous. And then I again desperate for
Hey,
saves.
I ended up with Chris Sale and Luis Severino in the Baseball Life Fantrax League. So
Oh, look at you. All right. Yeah, I tried doing that in this league in our fantasy in our baseball life league. I tried getting a couple of IL guys like Syndergaard, Severino, and Chris Sale. Couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. Just couldn't do it anymore. Richard Rodriguez. Remember, I was desperate for saves. Well, this is
yikes.
as desperate as it gets. Well, we'll see. He's I hate this draft. Anyway, but yeah, if Richard Rodriguez wins the battle, you know how I like my Pittsburgh Pirates closers, preferably not going after 13-year-old girls. Austin Martin. I don't know about you, Sean, but every time I see Austin Martin's name, I go inside my head and I go, yeah, baby, yeah. Austin Martin going to Texas sooner. There's a good pickup there as he's already looking for the future. Christian Vasquez going to the Evil Empire. So I always like seeing the Yankee fans drafting Red Sox players. That's a thing of me. Jake Odorizzi going to Kansas City. Tim, did Odorizzi play for the Royals at one point of his life? I think he did.
For the Royals, I don't believe so.
I know he played for the Rays, that's for sure. But anyway,
Yeah.
Kansas City Tim gets Jake Odorizzi. So again, if he likes him, that must. Oh no, yes, he did.
He did. That was his debut team.
Yeah, he came up the.
I wonder if he was part of that James Shields.
No.
No.
He was also he used to play for the Brewers too in the Brewers farm system.
Oh, okay.
So and then he got traded to the Royals probably.
I want to see.
So yeah, look that up because I'm
We'll do.
interested. Eliezer Hernandez. Well, before you do, I got to ask you about this guy because I've heard such mixed bag reviews on this guy for the Marlins. What do you think about him?
I can't tell. Everyone in the fantasy baseball community loves the Marlins pitching, and they have for like 3 years now, dating back to when the guy who got traded to the Padres or to the Rays with a really good changeup. He was like the guy who everybody loved, and now it's like Pablo Lopez is really taking a hold. And I'm starting to see how everyone hyped up Pablo Lopez the last year or two. Eliezer Hernandez is starting to get a lot of that love. I still think I like Lopez over him, but he could be a sneaky good pick for your starting rotation.
Well, we'll see. Like I said, I heard nothing but mixed reviews. I heard people liking him, loving him, and I heard other people hating him. So Dustin May. I mean, at this point, I'm not a fan of this pick in a points league, but at this point for Shane, he has so many darn pitchers that it doesn't matter at this point. He might as well play the long game at this juncture. And he goes with Buster Posey. Again, another catcher I was eyeing to back up Will Smith in case I need that extra playing time. These guys did not leave me with any catchers. So Matthew Boyd, this one made me really angry as I was eyeing him, Matthew Boyd, and it looks like Primo went back-to-back pitchers in this round of back-to-back picks for him.
I am right. Jake Odorizzi was part of the Will Myers, Wade Davis, James Shield deal.
So how did he end up on the Royals?
He ended up on the Royals because he was traded by the Brewers along with Lorenzo Cain, Alcides Escobar, and Jeremy Jeffress in return for Udieski, Betancourt, Zach Greinke, and cash.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
I didn't realize Lorenzo Cain was originally with the Brewers. I always thought he was same thing with Alcides Escobar. I thought those guys were drafted Royals. Yeah.
Royals for life, right?
Yeah, but no, they came up with the Brewers. Sneaky.
Actually, in Chicago, that might mean something different. So maybe I'll just shut my mouth. I think that's a gang affiliated syndicate there.
Maybe they'll sponsor us.
The Royals? No, because then we'll get attacked by the other. Yeah, you don't want to deal with that. Jake McGee, that's another guy I was eyeing, and Juan Soto decided, no, I'm gonna get him. I'm surprised the Yankee fan didn't go after Jason Dominguez. John E going back to back, what do you call it? Prospects there. Yeah, let me see. Who did he take before? Yeah, Austin Martin and Jason Dominguez. So that's bold.
Solid prospect picks.
Yeah, good job there, buddy. Sean Manaea. I'm desperate for pitching, Sean. When Sean Manaea ends up on my godforsaken team.
You picked Sean Manaea over Dylan Cease and Griffin Canning?
Yeah, Griffin Canning. All I saw was I love Griffin Canning. Unfortunately, he's on the wrong team. All I keep seeing is that they're going to a 6-man rotation, and in a league like ours, a points league,
you need the innings.
No. Well, how are you gonna get? You need to start to get those innings.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying is you don't pick him because he's not going to get as many innings.
Number 2. Oh, I see what you're saying. Number 2, though, like I told you, two start pitchers are a big thing in this league, and if he can't get me 2 starts, then what's the point?
Yeah.
Maybe in our baseball life league, I would have gone for it, but not in this league. And then
You'd rather have Sean Manaea over Madison Bumgarner?
Yeah, Madison
Okay.
Garn. There's
Okay.
nothing. There's like nothing out of Madison Bumgarner. Everything I've read about him, it just sounds like it's just downhill rapidly, like gravity's just taking over for him. Didi Gregorius going to Mike, and then there's your guy Dylan Cease going to Jeff. Dylan Cease, he bad taste in my mouth, really bad taste in my mouth. I ranked him so low because I didn't want to deal with him this year. That's another pick. Gavin Lux to carry. He's just, man, he's totally redeeming himself. This guy. So good job by Steven and my fellow White Sox fan. Speaking of White Sox fan, Yadier Molina, that's like catch number 50 for Bushnell. Griffin Canning, we mentioned him already. Elvis Andrews.
Bleh.
Never mind. Jesus, man. Look at Robert going Elvis Andrews and Framber Valdez and back-to-back picks this late in the draft.
I mean, if Valdez can come back from that broken finger, but I remember when they first reported it, they're acting like he was going to miss the entire year.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, never mind. Just saw posted a few days ago.
Yeah.
Won't require surgery, and his finger showed significant healing. So
all right, Wolverine over there. Good for him.
PED test, that guy.
It was just the anti-inflammatory drugs. That's kind of like a steroid, right?
Yeah.
Griffin Canning and Franmil Reyes going to Houston Stevens. So that's not a bad pairing. Like I said, Canning, though, it's just he's with the wrong team. If he were with the Brewers, I think I would love him more. So, or like a team like the Brewers.
Yeah.
Andrew McCutchen. That's actually not bad by Bushnell. A little too old to be in a keeper league, but all things considered for Bushnell, he could do a lot worse this late.
Once again, I guess it's due to your guys' format, but Franmil Reyes, that's too late. Especially, they're talking about that he might play some first base. He's still going to play some outfield, I think. I think he'll get multi-position eligibility between first base and one of the outfield spots.
Yeah,
even though he might be the primary DH.
No, I mean I get it, and DH is we saw a couple of DHs go very early, and then now they're going super late. So I guess it just depends if about position eligibility, right?
Yeah.
Like who do these teams
who
have?
you already capped? Yeah,
exactly. So other than that, it's a really good pick. I mean, I like both those picks, but again, I can't get behind Griffin Canning too much. What's left here? I see that we are at this is the last round. Okay, so we're almost there, Sean. Caleb Smith, I wanted to get your opinion on Caleb Smith. I don't know what to make of Caleb Smith. He's with the Diamondbacks. So
all of the helium is out on him.
Okay, that's what I thought.
I really still do like him. I'm just not sure if he's ever going to reach that ceiling that we thought he could reach.
Alrighty, Devin Williams going to Jeff's team. Now again, great pickup by Aaron in our league, the fantasy baseball. I keep calling it the fantasy baseball. No, it's the Baseball Life Fantasy Baseball League. God damn it! And Devin Williams going to Aaron's team, who already had Josh Hader. That's stupendous. In this league, we mentioned there are no holds. There's no rate stats to tip your hat to or rely on for a guy like Devin Williams. So Jeff it's a bold pick, but clearly
banking on a Hader trade.
Exactly, or Hader demotion of sorts, becoming that late inning guy. Madison Bumgarner going to Mike's team over in California. He loves those types of pitchers, man. Those veteran, big name pitchers, so he can have them. I went with Victor Robles because Trent Grisham got hurt, and I thought I could use another center fielder, which would give me 3 center fielders with Ketel Marte. But Robles, formerly a highly touted prospect, I am banking on that. Nolan Gorman. Jesus, John E. just getting all the prospects at this juncture of the draft. Just gonna see which one sticks, right?
Throw it against the wall.
Yeah, whatever. Jesse Winker going to the Evil Empire.
That's I think too late of a pick. I think that's a great pick.
Yeah, I you know how I love Jesse Winker. I just don't like the Reds situation right now. So let me ask you: do you see him starting regularly for the Reds, or is he going to be platoon?
If anything, it's the large side of a platoon.
Okay.
But I don't think it's that far. I think they said Shogo Akiyama is going to have to miss some time with a family issue. I know his wife was just recently seriously hurt.
Oh, no.
But right now he's slated to start left field, no sort of platoon mark on roster resource.
Yeah, I
Him
see
in
that
left
too.
field, Castellanos in right field, and Nick Senzel in center.
Eddie Rosario, who was talked at nauseum earlier today on Dong City. Earlier today, that was like 4 6 hours ago. It seems like we're almost done, guys. Eddie Rosario going to Kansas City.
Also,
Tim.
in addition to his wife's injury, he just strained his hamstring as well. So,
oh man, everything's going back for Akiyama.
yeah.
Poor guy. Brian Garcia, we talked how bad the Tiger situation is, but Primo's going all in on the Tiger situation. I think you mentioned before in this podcast that you would rather go, if you have to pick up Detroit Tigers closer, you will go with Gregory Soto.
Yeah,
over
Gregory Soto is the guy I'm going for.
And Gregory Soto sucks too, so whatever. And finally, Mr. Irrelevant, Robbie Ray. I know you like him. You picked him in your league, in our league, I should say.
Have you seen his numbers in spring training?
No, because it's just practice, man.
It's just practice. But
it's just practice.
4 starts, 13 2/3 innings, a whip under 1, only 5 walks. I mean, 3.3 walks per 9 is like all-star levels for Robbie Ray. 18 strikeouts. And he's throwing hard. He's like throwing like 96. Like, it's wild. Oh, somebody pull me back. I'm about to fall back in love with Robbie Ray. I don't need to do that. It's bad for my heart. It's bad for my whip. I mean, it's bad for everything.
I mean, you see that 12 strikeouts per 9, and you can't help falling in love with Robbie Ray. And that's it, man. 22 rounds. Hope everybody enjoyed it. I mean, we went as deep as we could, with as detailed as we could, and in less than 2 hours, I think. I don't know. I lost track of time. But yeah, I hope everybody enjoyed it. Sean, thank you for coming on board and doing me a big favor and breaking down this draft. I know everybody was asking for it in our league, so we greatly appreciate you coming in. You ready to go again tomorrow then?
For sure. We'll finish up the baseball life one. Because that finished today. So
yeah, so it all works out.
Like I said, we got a lot. All the drafts are starting to wrap up.
Hell yeah. All right. It's fantasy baseball draft season. Gotta love it. This is what we signed up for. So let's get this one on the road and get this one going. I am Felipe. That is Sean. We will see you tomorrow as well. Have a good night, everybody.